welcome. This is an oldie but goodie because it's sort of to coincide with the release of our brand new compilation album. I thoroughly recommend you go and get it. It's called Sonic 001 and it's a contributor compilation album. It's lots of people who've been involved in Sonic over the years. 18 tracks of real goodness. My track was called Yodel, and it originally was done on the Dominion, but when I moved it over to live, I started to use the Sub 37 because it's just easier to perform it on this, and I recreated the patch because I rather foolishly lost the patch because I created it when I was doing a review, and back at that time there wasn't a possibility to save the patches. Oh, I'm so annoyed. But I was also using an H9. In my live version, which is what I built the kind of main release on for the compilation album, I used the Sub 37 and I used the Behringer XR18 where I sort of made a shimmer. In this instance, just for ease of use, I'm using the Ventris, which has got you know, that nice shimmer thing going on. And I haven't actually used the Sub for a while, which is, I feel quite ashamed. In fact, so much so, I don't know if you can see, but these keys have gone a bit yellow. I feel really sorry for it. It feels like it needs to go to the dentist and have its teeth whitened. But anyway, I won't dwell on that. But this is one of the patches I created. I've got a bunch of patches here, and what I'll do is I'll stick those on Patreon to go along with this, because I haven't done that with the Sub 37. I've got a bunch in here, so you can have those if you're a Patreon supporter. That's the thing down there that will tell you where to go. But this track is quite an interesting sound because it's essentially, here I've got this in duophonic mode, so, and it's all about the relationship between those notes, the duo mode here. And what I'm doing is I'm changing the relationship by changing the timbre by moving the oscillator wave. If I take off, I've got a bit of feedback on there. So my low oscillator, my second oscillator is this one. My first oscillator is, also using is I'm cross-modulating with the mod matrix to I think I'm doing the oscillator wave, the oscillator 1 wave at high mod rates, which was kind of nice. And then I think later on in the tune I bring in the filter envelope because I'm doing this kind of such an organic sound. I mean, remember the Moog Sub 37, lovely synthesizer though it is, sort of been not superseded, but kind of there's a newer model out, because with 2 oscillators going into the filter, even with the low levels, it's got such a lot of distortion. If I take this off, if I take the levels down even to, I have to take them right down to stop them from actually kind of distorting. I mean, it's good distortion. It's the sort of multi-drive. It's the thing that made the Sub 37. I did a review of this years ago. And yeah, if you want to check that out, I thought it was a great synth. It's a really good performative synth. Anyway, this is supposed to be a sort of Friday fun, but really what I thought it might be interesting to explore, just this whole concept of relationship between 2 notes, because something about duophonic synthesizers that when you just play it sort of takes you back to classical, doesn't it? Sort of counterpoint and harmony. I know nothing about these things. I just know what sounds nice. And what sounds nice is good sounding oscillators at sort of just varying intervals. And you can, I mean, you know, there's hardly any room for anything else in this. It's massive. So I'm just going to play along a little bit more and give you something to think about. Maybe you could try some duophonic patches on a synth you've got at your place. It doesn't have to have this much reverb on it. bit of a clipping into such a massive output. Sorry to interrupt there. I think that's either clipping into the speakers or clipping into the Ventris.